The signal. The crystalline spires of Research Station Gamma 9 sparkled in the light of 3 moons, its architecture a testament to the Zirian Collective's technological prowess. Chief Archaeologist Venra stood before the holoprojector, her iridescent scales shifting colors with anticipation as she presented her findings to the Council of Scientific Discovery. "The energy signature is unmistakable," she said, manipulating the holographic display to show a pulsing red dot deep beneath Earth's surface. After a millennium of silence, something has awakened in the ruins of humanity's cradle world. The council members floated in their energy fields, their crystalline forms refracting light across the chamber. First speaker Thailand's voice resonated through the neural network. "Impossible. Our records clearly show humanity's extinction during the Great Collapse. Nothing could have survived." Venra projected another image, a 3-dimensional scan of massive underground complexes spanning continents. "These structures weren't meant to survive." First speaker. "They were meant to thrive." The energy readings suggest quantum-level technology far beyond anything in our historical records of human civilization. The chamber erupted in murmurs of disbelief. Humanity had been considered a tragic footnote in galactic history, a species that barely achieved interstellar travel before destroying themselves in a catastrophic war. Their ruins were studied as cautionary tales, their achievements marked as promising, but ultimately futile. "The activation sequence is spreading," Venra continued, showing time-lapse data of energy signatures lighting up across Earth's surface. "These aren't random power fluctuations. This is a coordinated awakening." First speaker Thailand's crystalline form pulsed with concern. "If what you suggest is true, why would humanity fake their extinction? Why hide for a millennium?" Venra's scales shifted to deep blue, indicating serious contemplation. "Perhaps, first speaker, the question isn't why they hid, but what they were becoming while hidden." The council granted permission for an expedition, though few expected anything beyond ancient automated systems. Venra led her team to Earth personally, their ship descending through the atmosphere toward the largest energy signature in what was once called North America. As they landed, their sensors detected something extraordinary: quantum fluctuations that defied known physics. The ground beneath them hummed with power, and their instruments recorded patterns that suggested not just technology, but consciousness operating on quantum levels. "Look there," her assistant Krellmeyer pointed toward a massive door emerging from the Earth itself, its surface covered in patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. The door wasn't opening, it was transforming, its very matter rearranging at a molecular level. A figure stepped through, humanoid but unlike any human in historical records. Its skin had a subtle luminescence, and its movements seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. When it spoke, its voice carried not just sound but quantum information that their ship's AI translated with difficulty. "Welcome, children of the stars," the being said, its form somehow both solid and fluid. "We are what humanity chose to become, and we have much to share about the true nature of evolution." Awakening. The being introduced itself as Coordinator Sarah Chen, though she noted that traditional names have become more symbolic than practical for their evolved state. Venra's research team stood transfixed as more figures emerged from the transformed doorway, each moving with the same impossible grace. "A millennium ago," Chen explained, "humanity faced a choice: extinction or transformation. We chose a third path: evolution by design." She gestured, and the air around them filled with holographic displays showing the history they had hidden from the galaxy. The images revealed vast underground complexes built in secret, quantum processors capable of storing human consciousness, and stasis chambers designed not just to preserve, but to enhance their occupants. "We didn't just sleep," Chen continued. "We dreamed. We grew. We became." Krellmeyer's sensors were struggling to process the quantum signatures emanating from the evolved humans. "Your consciousness," he observed, "it exists in multiple states simultaneously. How is this possible?" Chen smiled, her form shifting slightly as if to demonstrate. We learn to exist between dimensions, to think in quantum states. The beings you see before you are not just bodies housing minds. We are consciousness given form, able to shift between physical and quantum existence at will. More chambers were activating across the planet. Venra's instruments detected thousands, then millions of quantum signatures emerging. Each represented a human consciousness returning to a newly evolved form, their bodies engineered to bridge the gap between material and quantum reality. But why? First, Speaker Tylen's hologram appeared, his crystalline form pulsing with a mix of wonder and concern. Why go to such lengths to fake your extinction? Why hide your evolution from the galaxy? The atmosphere in the chamber shifted, and Chen's expression grew serious. Because we weren't the only ones evolving. We detected something at the edges of known space, a consciousness that devours other consciousnesses, a force that doesn't just destroy civilizations, but absorbs them, consuming their very essence. She waved her hand, and new holographic images appeared, massive, dark forms moving between stars, leaving dead worlds in their wake. We called them the Void Hunters. They've been consuming civilizations for millennia, growing stronger with each absorption. They don't just kill, they assimilate entire species into their collective consciousness. We needed to evolve beyond what they could consume. Another evolved human added, introducing himself as Marcus Webb. We needed to become something they couldn't detect, couldn't understand, couldn't absorb. So we hid. We changed. We transcended. Venra's scales shifted to a deep purple of realization. The quantum fluctuations we've been detecting across the galaxy, the anomalies that seem to defy physics. Yes, Chen confirmed. Those were our scouts, our earliest awakened forms, testing the boundaries of what we'd become. But now we need to wake up fully. The Void Hunters are coming. They've sensed our emergence, and they're hungry. The ground trembled as more chambers activated. Around the world, millions of evolved humans were awakening. Each consciousness returned to a body that was both organic and quantum, capable of existing in multiple states of reality simultaneously. They moved with purpose, preparing for what they knew was coming. We hid because we had to evolve, Chen explained, her form becoming more solid, more present. Now we emerge because we have to fight. Not just for ourselves, but for every consciousness in the galaxy. The Void Hunters believe they're pursuing their prey, but they don't realize they're about to face something entirely new. Venra watched as the evolved humans began coordinating with impossible efficiency, their quantum-linked minds working in perfect harmony. She understood then that she wasn't just witnessing the return of a species. She was seeing the emergence of something unprecedented in the galaxy's history. The age of traditional humanity was over. The age of quantum humanity had begun. The threat emerges. The first warning came as a ripple through quantum space. Chen felt it before the sensors detected anything. A disturbance in the fabric of consciousness itself. The Void Hunters had noticed their awakening sooner than expected. "They're coming," she announced, her form shifting between states as she processed vast streams of quantum data. 3 vessels, if you can call them that. More like tears in reality itself. The Zirian Research Station sensors began registering massive anomalies at the edge of the solar system. Dark shapes emerged from fold space, their forms defying conventional physics. They absorbed light, heat, and even the background radiation of space itself. Evacuation protocols initiated. First, Speaker Tylen announced through the neural network. All non-military vessels are to retreat to safe distance. The Zirian Defense Fleet will. No, Chen interrupted, her voice carrying quantum harmonics that made the very air vibrate. Your weapons, your ships, they're useless against them. The Void Hunters don't fight in physical space. They wage war on the level of consciousness itself. As if to demonstrate, one of the dark shapes reached out with tendrils of pure void. A small Zirian scout ship, trying to retreat, was caught in its grasp. The crew's neural networks went silent instantly. But worse than the silence was what came after. Their consciousness signatures reappeared, twisted and wrong, absorbed into the vast, dark mass of the Void Hunter. "This is why we had to change," Marcus explained, his form now fully shifted into its combat configuration. His physical body had become a quantum matrix, existing in multiple states simultaneously. We had to become something that could fight them on their own terms. The evolved humans began to move in perfect synchronization. Across Earth, millions of quantum-enhanced minds linked together, forming a vast neural lattice that extended beyond physical space. Chen stood at its center, her consciousness expanding to coordinate the response. "What we're about to show you," she told Venra, "is why we spent a millennium preparing. Watch and understand what humanity has become." The quantum lattice pulsed with power. The evolved humans weren't just communicating. They were combining their consciousness into something greater. Their physical forms began to shimmer and shift, becoming anchor points for a vast quantum web that stretched between them. The Void Hunters sensed the change. Their dark forms accelerated toward Earth, hungry for this new form of consciousness they detected. But as they approached, something unprecedented happened. The quantum web created by the evolved humans didn't retreat or resist. It expanded to meet them. "We don't run anymore," Chen declared, her voice now carrying the harmonic resonance of millions of linked minds. "We don't hide. We've spent a millennium learning to exist in the spaces between spaces, to think in ways that transcend traditional consciousness." The first Void Hunter struck the quantum web and recoiled. For the first time in its ancient existence, it encountered something it couldn't simply absorb. The evolved human's consciousness wasn't just offended. It was weaponized. Venra watched in awe as the battle unfolded across multiple dimensions. In physical space, it appeared as a dance of light and shadow. But through her research team's quantum sensors, she saw the true scope of the conflict. The evolved humans were fighting with thoughts that existed in superposition, consciousness that could attack and defend simultaneously across quantum states. "We had to become something new," Marcus explained, his form now a nexus point in the quantum web. "Something that could turn the Void Hunter's greatest weapon, consciousness absorption, against them. We had to learn to exist in a way that would make us indigestible to them." The Void Hunters launched another attack, their dark tendrils seeking to corrupt and absorb the human quantum web. But where they touched, they found not consciousness they could consume, but a reflection of their own void, a quantum mirror that forced them to confront their own nature. Evolution unleashed. The quantum battle reached a critical point as the largest Void Hunter entity launched a massive assault, its consciousness-draining field expanding like a black hole of thought. But instead of retreating, Chen gave the command they'd spent centuries preparing for. "Execute Protocol Omega," she broadcast across the quantum web. "Show them what a millennium of evolution really means." The evolved humans' physical forms began to phase shift in perfect synchronization. Their bodies became crystalline structures of pure quantum probability, each one existing in multiple states simultaneously. The quantum web connecting them transformed into something even the Void Hunters had never encountered, a new form of reality itself. "We didn't just evolve our bodies or our minds," Chen explained to the watching Xyrian observers. "We evolved our very way of existing. Watch what happens when we stop holding back." The human quantum web suddenly expanded exponentially, its structure becoming fractal, infinite patterns repeating across dimensions. Each evolved human became a node in this vast network, their consciousness flowing through quantum states that the Void Hunters couldn't comprehend. Marcus, now a nexus point of quantum energy, demonstrated their new capabilities. His consciousness split into multiple quantum states, each one engaging a different aspect of the Void Hunters' attack. They consumed consciousness in a linear fashion. He explained, his voice resonating across multiple dimensions. "We exist in all states simultaneously. You can't consume what you can't pin down to a single state of being." The Void Hunters recoiled as their absorption fields encountered this new form of existence. Their usual tactics, overwhelming and consuming consciousness, failed against beings who could shift their conscious state faster than it could be absorbed. Venra's instruments were overwhelmed trying to record what was happening. "This is impossible," she whispered. "They're rewriting the fundamental laws of consciousness itself." "Not rewriting," Chen corrected, her form now a brilliant nexus of quantum probability. "We're revealing what was always possible. Consciousness was never meant to be static, never meant to be limited to a single state or dimension." The evolved humans began their counterattack. Their quantum web didn't just defend. It reached into the very nature of the Void Hunters themselves. Every attempted absorption was met with a quantum reflection, forcing the Void Hunters to confront the emptiness of their own existence. For millennia, they consumed consciousness to fill their own void. Chen explained as the battle raged across dimensions. "But we've learned there is no void to fill. Consciousness isn't a finite resource to be consumed. It's an infinite potential to be realized." The largest Void Hunter entity, confronted with this new reality, began to show signs of destabilization. Its dark form flickered as the quantum reflections forced it to experience something it had never known: the possibility of evolution rather than consumption. "They're weakening," Marcus announced, his consciousness pulsing through the quantum web. "But more importantly, they're beginning to understand. Show them the final phase." Chen nodded, her form becoming pure quantum potential. "Initiate protocol genesis," she commanded. The quantum web shifted again, its pattern changing from defensive geometry to something organic, growing, evolving. The evolved humans weren't just fighting the Void Hunters, they were offering them a choice. "We spent a millennium learning how to transcend our limitations," Chen broadcast, her message reaching not just the Zarian observers, but the Void Hunters themselves. "Now we offer you the same choice we faced. Continue as you are, consuming until nothing remains, or evolve into something greater." New dawn. The solar system became a crucible of consciousness as the Void Hunters faced humanity's unprecedented offer. The largest entity's dark form pulsed with conflicting energies, the ancient drive to consume battling with the first stirrings of a new possibility. "They're responding," Marcus announced, his quantum signature rippling through the web. "For the first time in their existence, they're considering an alternative to consumption." The Void Hunters' forms began to shift, their darkness taking on new patterns. The smallest of the three was the first to change, its void-like structure beginning to resonate with the quantum frequencies of humanity's evolutionary web. The others followed, their consciousness expanding into the new states humanity had shown them. "This was your plan all along," Venra realized, her scales shifting through colors of amazement. "Not to destroy them, but to transform them." Chen's form stabilized enough to appear more humanoid as she responded. "Destruction only perpetuates the cycle of violence. We learned during our millennium of evolution that the true power of consciousness lies not in domination, but in transcendence." The quantum web began to pulse with new energy as the Void Hunter's consciousness merged with it, not to consume but to learn. The dark entities that had terrorized the galaxy for eons were experiencing something entirely new: growth without consumption, evolution without destruction. Above Earth, the battle had transformed into something else entirely. Where there had been conflict, now there was a symphony of consciousness, each form of awareness contributing to a greater whole. The Void Hunters' ancient knowledge of consciousness manipulation combined with humanity's quantum evolution, creating something unprecedented in the universe's history. "We offer this gift to all," Chen announced, her voice carrying across both quantum and physical dimensions. "The ability to evolve beyond current limitations, to exist in multiple states, to grow without consuming others." First Speaker Tylen's hologram flickered as he processed the implications. "You're proposing to change the very nature of consciousness in our galaxy." "We're proposing to fulfill its potential," Marcus corrected. "Every species, every form of consciousness, has the capacity to transcend its original state. We didn't hide for a millennium just to save ourselves. We hid to perfect a path that all could follow." The transformed void hunters began sharing their own knowledge through the quantum web. Millions of years of accumulated understanding about the nature of consciousness flowed through the network, now used to elevate rather than consume. Across Earth, the awakened humans continued emerging from their chambers, each adding their unique quantum signature to the growing symphony of consciousness. But now they were joined by the transformed void hunters, their combined knowledge creating new possibilities for evolution. "This is just the beginning," Chen said, addressing the assembled representatives of the galaxy species who had gathered to witness the event. "We offer our knowledge, our evolution, freely. The age of singular consciousness is ending. The age of quantum transcendence is beginning." Venra watched as the first volunteer from her own species stepped forward to join the quantum web, their crystalline form resonating with new possibilities. Around the solar system, representatives from dozens of species began arriving, drawn by the promise of evolution without destruction. The transformed void hunters, once the galaxy's greatest threat, now served as living proof that even the most destructive force could choose a different path. Their dark forms had become shimmering matrices of quantum potential, ready to help guide others toward transcendence. A millennium ago, Chen concluded, her form now a bridge between physical and quantum reality. Humanity faced extinction and chose to evolve instead. Today, we extend that choice to the galaxy. The future belongs not to those who consume or destroy, but to those who dare to transcend what they are and imagine what they might become. As the quantum web expanded to welcome new consciousnesses, the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if reflecting the dawn of a new era in the galaxy's history. Humanity had returned not as conquerors or victims, but as guides to a future where evolution, not extinction, was the answer to existence's greatest challenges.